Hello and welcome to this playthrough video of the roll and write game Islands of Atlantis by Alexander Shen. It's a 1 to 6 player roll and write game that can last up to 25 minutes. I'm going to be demonstrating this game to you in its solo mode. The game is all about is to raise islands from the depths of the sea and populate them with as diverse a landscape as possible, whilst looking for relics to help you grab those extra points. For this game, all you need is this one sheet of paper. There are about 5 sheets of pages of rules, but to play the game, each player would need a sheet of this play sheet, and then you'll also need 3 d6 of one colour and 2 d6 dice of another colour. And if you're playing this multiplayer, those are the only components you'll need, the only dice you need. All 1 to 6 players will share the same dice. You'll obviously need pens. I've got a couple of different colour pens here for demonstrating, but you only need 1 pen or pencil or marker or whatever to play the game. This game is going to be part of a roll and write anthology called Dice and Ink Volume 1. It's an anthology of 10 roll and write games from 11 different designers. It's going to be in a 6-inch by 12-inch soft colour cover, perfect bound book with perforated pages. I don't think the page count has exactly been decided just yet. The anthology, the Dice and Ink Volume 1 anthology, will be kickstarted by the new games publishing game publisher called Inkwell Games, and I'll give you some details about them. There'll be some details in the description and also at the end of the video. But let's get together. So the idea is to roll the dice, and the dice tell you how big your bits of land are going to be, and the other dice tell you what type of land you're going to create. There are various different scoring conditions that we want to get. You can create these regular islands and these perfect islands. A perfect island has 1 of each type of land in it, and by a type of land you'll have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5 and a 6 at least in that island. You can have more than 1 type of land in an island, but there are specific rules about where you can place and where you can put those, how you can put those bits of land together. You can also see here these icons dotted around the play grid. These are what we call relics, and you can gain extra bonuses if an island has 1 of each type of relic. The star isn't a relic, that's just where you start. So you have these 3 different types of relics here. These necklaces, I think this is like a jar, and this is maybe like a bangle or a bracelet there. So if you raise an island, and it's kind of push your luck, strategic as to how you're going to get an island that's going to include the different types of relics that you need. It's also a bit of push your luck in terms of you can only populate an island at the end of raising a bit of land on that island. You can start raising more than 1 type of island, but you can only populate an island on the go where you've raised a bit of land that connects to that island, and you can only score points if you populate islands. And once you populate islands, that means you have to then blank off some areas, some of these hexes, which then can't be used for other islands. Otherwise, they wouldn't be islands; they'd be just more land attached to more land. As you score, you start to unlock this some special actions, this influence table, and all of these bits add to a score at the end. And obviously when you're playing it at one player, you're looking for your highest score available. So let's get going. In the solo game, as with the multiplayer game, all 5 dice are rolled for each turn, and then you get different actions. There are different phases, and for every type of game, whether it's solo or multiplayer, there are always 2 phases: the rolling of the dice and the raising the island. And then you can choose whether you want to populate an island. If you choose to populate it, you can then score it, and then you roll the dice again and start phase 1. In the multiplayer game, after different players have scored their islands in that turn, you then pass the dice to the next person. But obviously playing on my own, so there's no person to pass the dice to. So let's get going. I'll roll these dice. Okay, now the 2, in this case, red dice are what we call a land dice, and the 3 white dice here are what we call power dice. Now in the solo game, with the power dice, you always remove from that turn the lowest dice. Now the power dice dictate how many hexes you can include in the bit of piece of land that you're raising up, and the land dice dictate what type of land you're raising from the depths of the sea. Okay, and like I said, we were trying to create one island that has at least one of each type. You can populate an island that doesn't have one of each type of land. That's just counted as a regular island, and regular islands score much less, far fewer points when it comes to the end game. So you want to create as many perfect islands as possible, containing as many unique relics as possible as well. So with this this roll I've got here, I can raise a bit of land, either 4 hexes big or 3 hexes big. Now at this stage, my tactic or my strategy is, and they can be any shape, but we do have to start from this star. And at this stage, I don't mind raising up quite a big piece of land to start with, because as you can see, the star is quite far away from these different unique relics here. So I'm going to choose the 4 dice. So I'm going to raise a piece of land that's 4 dice, 4 hexes big, and then I'm going to choose one of these types of land, and it doesn't really matter in this case which one of these to do. So I'm going to raise a piece of land that's going to be 4 hexes big. I mean, I could go in any direction that I wanted, and have it in any shape. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes in there, and I'm going to choose the 3, and you just put a 3, mark a 3 anywhere inside that piece of land. Okay, I'm not going to choose to populate it, so I just roll the dice again. So start the second turn. So again, I'm going to discard the smallest power dice value. So here I've got no choice really. I have to raise up 6 hexes, and I've got a 1 and a 3 that I'm. Now it is advantageous to have multiples of land types as well as different land types, because we want to, when we score this, I'll score the 3s, and I want to get up to these padlocks which can unlock these special powers, and as we get to those I'll explain those. But also, so it's that balance of, do I try and raise a new piece of land or try and raise the influence table. So in this case, I've got to have 6 hexes, and I'm going to choose the 1 here. So I'm going to attach the 1 piece of land, the 6 hexes. I have to attach it to, I can only attach it to a piece of land that isn't, you know, I've not got a 1 piece of land here yet, so I can attach it to any part of my land. But if I was to roll another one, I would only be allowed to attach it to a 1. Okay, and if I used the 3, I would only be able to attach it to the 3. So I'm going to try and include one of these relics. I could include both of those relics there. So let's do that. Here we go. So I've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hexes for my land die, for my power die, and I'm going to put a 1. Is it going to be a type of land as a 1? Okay, so I've at least got 2 unique relics in there, which is a great start. Although I'm starting to take up a lot of space, so you generally want to raise up smaller pieces of land, I think, in my experience of playing this game. Again, look, I need to remove the smallest power die, which is the 3, so I can only raise up, I have to raise up 4 hexes, and I've got a 4 or a 5, which are okay. I can put those anywhere. So this is the next unique relic here. Let's go this way. So I've got to have 4 hexes in here, and I can choose it to be either a 4 or 5 land type. Again, it doesn't matter too much at this stage, but let's I'll just choose a 5. Okay, I'm not going to populate. I'm going for those perfect islands as much as possible, especially at this early stage in the game when I've got plenty of space to build this landmass. Okay, so again, I remove this lowest power die, and now I've got a 1 and a 2. So, and I have to raise up either 3 hexes, pieces of land, or 4. So at this stage, I'm going to raise up 3, and I'm going to make them the land type of 2. Okay, so I don't want to, I want to be able to leave some sides to the 5 in case I was to roll another 5, or like a double 5 in my land die. I wouldn't have any choice. I'd have to raise up a piece of 5 land, so I need to leave some space. But I also, and I don't want to block off too many routes either, so I'm going to I'm going to just do 3 hexes, and I'm just going to do them along the edge there, and I'm going to make these, I've already got a 1, I've not got a 2 yet, so I'm going to make them a 2, put a 2 in there. So I've got 4 different land types so far in this 1 piece of land, or 1 island that I'm creating here. So in my power die, I remove a 4, so I've got a 4 and a 6, and I've got a 1 and a 4. That's great. I need a 4, and I've got a 4, so it's going to be 4 hexes big, and it's going to be a land type of 4. Now, when you populate an island, you then colour in all of the empty hexes around. So I wouldn't want to raise up this piece of land, because if I was to then populate this island, I would be blanking off, and I'd be losing this relic to the sea forever. so I wouldn't want to do that. So I need to kind of leave, I'm looking to leave a gap of at least a hex around every relic here. So I'm going to keep this these hexes as close to the edge and just kind of build them up around the edge of my existing bit of land, my existing island. So that's 4 hexes, and that's a 4. So I need a 6 really land type to create a perfect island. Obviously, if I was to get another different land type, or a land type I've already got, that's not the end of the world, because when I score it, it will increase my influence table. So take away the lowest power die, so I've got to raise up 4 hexes, and I have got a 6. Brilliant. So let's add in these 4 hexes, pieces of land, and this is a 6. Okay, that's the land type, and it's 4 power, and this is where I'm going to go on to this stage. I am going to populate this island, okay, because I've just created a perfect island. There's a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6, and I've got 1, 2, 3 unique relics in there. Okay, so I need to mark off all of the hexes around the edge, and I'm using blue here because it's part of the sea and water. So please excuse the messiness as I fill in these hexes. My pieces of paper are moving about a bit. Yeah, I forgot the old sticky tape to tape them down with. Okay, so this is me populating my first island that I've reclaimed from the sea. There. Okay, so I've populated it. I now need to kind of write in my scores or mark off my influence. So let's mark off the influence first. So I've got a 1 in there, I've got a 2, I've got 1 3, I've got 1 4, I've got 1 5 and 1 6. Okay, now this is a perfect island, so I can tick that, and I've got 3 unique relics, so I can tick that. Okay, great. Okay, so now we are going to roll the dice again and start raising up more land. So here, now I'm going to struggle. I've got 1 piece of land there that's only got 2 relics in here. I've got a piece of land, I've got 3 unique relics kind of close together around that area. This area there's 3 unique relics, and this area there's 3 unique relics, and there's 1 on its own there. So that's going to be my strategy. So let's see. So this is likely to be a non-perfect island because there's not much space in there to get 6 different land types. There's barely even 6 hexes there. So that's gonna be happy to get an irregular island there. You do get a bonus right at the very end if you have filled in every hex with either island or water. So I don't want to waste this area, so I might come back to this area and start up here because there's plenty of space to maneuver around there. Here we go. So we got to remove my lowest power die. So I've only got a choice. I've got to raise up 4 hexes somewhere, and I've got the power or my land types of 1 or 3. So let's try and include these 3 different relics here. So if I start with this one, so it's got to be 4 hexes. So let's just go around the edge of this island that already exists, that I last raised up. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes. I'm going to make this a land type of 1. Okay, I'm not populating, so I'm just rolling again. Again, I've got to remove the 1. Oh, so it has to be a land type of 5, and it can be 2 or 3 hexes big. I'm going to start being cautious now, and I'm going to start doing raising up as smaller land masses as possible. Obviously there is a risk to this, that if I block off that 5 and don't allow access, and then I roll another 5 as a land dice, I can only attach that piece of land to another 5. 5s can only attach to 5s if they already exist. So obviously the less hexes there is, the less surface area there is to connect to. So there is some tactic there. Okay, so we're removing the 2. We've got a 6 and a 5, so 6 or 5 hexes, and a 1 or a 2 land type. And I've already got a 1 land type. So let's add in this 6. So I'm going to do 5 hexes and a land type of 2. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 probably around here, kind of around the edge. Here we go. And here, and this is going to be a 2. Like I said, it doesn't matter where you write the number, as long as it's quite clear as to which piece of land it's a part of. Okay, this is great. So I've already enclosed all of the 3 unique relics. So now I want to try and finish off this land, this island, without losing any of these other relics to the depths. So I've got a 4 and a 5, and a 3 and a 5. So I've already got a 5 there, so I can do a 3 in here. So if I was to come along here, this is going to be a 3 type. Now if I roll another 2, I can still go into here. If I roll a 5, I can still come into here. 1's obviously quite open, and 3 is obviously pretty open as well. If I was to roll another 3 and I didn't have any choice as to what I can do. When you start unlocking these powers, these start giving you, mean you can start manipulating your dice, which is useful. So obviously here, this is not quite so good. So it's got to be 5 or 6 hexes. I've got a 4 there, which is good. So let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then be looking to roll a 6. 1, 2, 4. 3, 4, 5. Then that leaves me here. So we've got to have 5 hexes. So we'll come along here and come up here. Remember, I'm giving this relic some space. Yeah. Come this way. So we've got 5 hexes. This is a 4 land type, so I've got to get a 6 somewhere, but I have got space still in here, and this is where we start to push my luck, you see. But I got a 6. Great. So I'm going to raise up 5, and I'm just going to fill in as much of this as possible. These hexes are going to be lost to the sea, but I've created another perfect island. So it's 5 big, and it's a land type of 6. Okay, so I am going to populate this island. So we colour in all of the hexes around the edge of the island. Okay, but I'm not really pushing up my influence and unlocking. I could have tried to push my luck a little bit on that one, because I've now only got a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5 and a 6. So I've got a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5 and a 6. Also, if you complete an influence, you get a bonus. But that was a perfect island, and it has got 3 relics in it. Okay, so what I'm lacking here now at the moment is unlocking my special powers, but I'm at least going to do that on the next island I populate. So maybe I might focus on one of these areas where I know I'm going to have to create a regular island anyway, but maybe I can create a whole island of 2s, for example, or something like that. So let's see. So I've got removed this 3, so I've got a 6 and a 2. So I could, but this is also good. I could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to get tight around that corner. But I'm very close to then enclosing those 3 unique relics there, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to raise this land all along this edge here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So coming along to here. Okay, and this is going to be a 6. Okay, and you can see I've enclosed 2 relics there, 2 unique relics. Let's so 2. Got another 6 or 5 here. Okay, so but then I'm getting close to wrecking that. See, what I wondered was I could raise up 6 hexes here of a 6, so it's 2 6s with 3 relics. Maybe I will do that. But then I've lost the opportunity for a perfect island, although it's going to be tricky. It would have been tricky to get a perfect island kind of coming around here. I could kind of cut my losses and raise that 6 and then look to create a perfect island in this area. Maybe it was a mistake to start over here. I probably should have gone from a perfect island around here And then my last perfect island, or third perfect island. Or I could put a 2 of a 5 and just really hope that I don't start creating that. Or I could, with these really low ones, I could start raising up another little island over here. So I could raise up a little 2 of a 5 or a 6 there and start to go around here. Ooh, and have a couple on the go, as it were. Let's do that. So now remember, I can only populate an island if I've raised a bit of land attached to that island. So I can't, so I'm going to say that's 2, and I'm going to make this a land type of 6. So I can't now populate this bit of land on this this turn. If I wanted to, I could only populate this bit of land. But if I was to add in the next turn a bit of land onto here, I could then choose to populate that, but that's still unfinished. So it's starting to really be a bit daring here. So I've got a 3 and a 4, and a 5 and a 2. Again, 3 is quite small, so I could start coming around here and kind of come around the edge to try and enclose this little area. So let's do a 3. Remember, this is only ever going to have 2 relics, this one, because there's only 2 relics in this area that I can raise up. This is just going to be a 2 or a 5, and does it matter? It could matter, but we don't know whether it will or not yet. So remove that 2 power die. So I've got a 2 and a 5. Oh, that's good. And I've got a 3 and a 5, so I'm going to raise up 3 hexes. No. Because if I was to raise up those 3 hexes, I left that on its own. But if I raise up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's pretty sure it's going to be a regular island with only 2 relics. And my hope is still to make this into a perfect island. So I'm going to raise up 5 hexes as a 5. No, as a 2. Because I then can push up this influence, these 2 influences. So I'm going to raise up these 5 hexes, pieces of land, as it were. Reclaim them from the sea, and they're the 2. Okay, and I'm not going to populate, I'm going to chance my luck that I get a power die of 3 at some point with either a 2, a 6 or anything else in there, hopefully a 2 or a 6, that I can put that in and I can populate it and claim that bit of land. So now I'm going to work on either this one or over here. Okay, so that's perfect. So I've got a 3 on the land, so I can 1, 2, 3 hexes, and I've got a 2, so I can populate it with a 2, and I can populate that piece of land. So let's and then score it, and that will give me some influence. So I'm going to score this. So obviously I've got nothing to colour in because it's kind of all bordered already. So got 1, 2, 3 2s. I've got 1, 2, 3, and 1 6 here. So I've unlocked 2. So what I'm going to do, when you unlock a special power, you circle it. And I'm going to circle 1 of each. And then when I use them, I cross them off. Okay? And I can use them at any point to manipulate the dice. So this one, I can use to manipulate either of the die, either the power die or the land die, plus or minus 1. So if it was a 3, I could either have it as a 4 or a 2. Or this could only be a 5, or this could be a 5 or a 3. Or this one, I can automatically change any die just to a 1, which is obviously most useful with the power die raising up. So if I need to, if I've got 1 little hex left, I can turn the die into a 1, because with my power die, look, to use a 1, I have to roll at least 2, because remember the lowest power die gets taken out and is not usable. Okay, so we're looking okay, looking good, and we've got 2, so we're getting close to getting our influence bonus on the 2s. So let's roll and see what my next tactic is. Okay, so removing this. I wonder if I'm going to start to come around here. Now these 2 are going to either be, I think I'm looking to get a perfect island in and around here, and hopefully snatch this little one for 3 relics here. Oh, I didn't do my relics here, so I got 2. Got so excited. It's a regular island, and it was 2 relics in there. So here I am going to start off with a so let's do raise up a 5 and a 5 to start. That'll be fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, no, I've gone wrong there. Obviously, if I was using pencil, I might be able to rub that out, but we'll put a 5 in here. Okay, so we come into the sharp end here, so raise up 2, and I've got a 1 and a 3. What I want is a 6 and a 4 or something, just to create that. So anyway, we've got a 1 and a 3. So let's, we're at a wide point here. So I'm going to just use the 2, and I'm going to put a 1. I seem to not roll so many 1s. I've just said that, and I've just cursed myself, obviously. And now I'm going to just roll a streak of 1s. But we're going to have a 1 in here. Okay. If these open, I can still attach a 5 to the 5, and I can attach a 1 to the 1. So here, a 1 and a 6 and a 4. Perfect. I think what I'm going to do is raise up 4 with a 6. So attach a 6 to there, and have 3 unique relics in a regular island with 2 6s. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm kind of switching over back to this island here, and this is a 6. I'm going to populate this island, so that just means colouring in this hex there. And then so I've already obviously reached the unlock on the 6s, but again I'm close. In this last island, if I could get 2 2s or 2 6s, that would be great. So I've raised another regular island with 3 relics, another 3 relics, that's better. Okay, we're looking good. Now I'm going to focus back on this island and kind of close out the game over here, hopefully. So I've got a 1 and a 6. That's great, and a 2. So what we're going to do is going to kind of come around the edge here and have 2 hexes. There's a 6. Okay. Oh, it's a killer. But it is a 6 and a 3. So I've got to remove the 2. So I've got to raise up 6 hexes. Now I could use one of my specials here to manipulate the die. So I could either move this down to a 5. I was wondering whether I should attach this 6 to the 6, but go around there. So and then I'd close these 6, and then I've got to get a 2, a 3 and a 4 in that area. Now I've already got a 3 here, so I'm wondering whether I should manipulate this. Is a real bad one. So I could populate these with a 3. Okay, so then I need to, I've got 5 hexes in which to get a 2 and a 4. If I manipulated that down to 5 hex, 5 on the land die, I could, don't you obviously have to fill in 5, that gives me 6 spaces here to get 2 types of land in there, and I would still have a 1. Because remember, if I can't place die, then I can't populate that island for that go, and that would kind of be game over. That would be game ends, and we just add up all my score. So this is tricky. I do need to at least get one of these influence tables up to the bonus to get that kind of that extra 10 points of influence bonus. So I'm tempted to say to convert one of these to a 1 and put a 6 inside it, and then I can focus on the 3, the 2, 3 and the 4 in here. Let's do that. So I'm going to manipulate that down to a 1. So it's crossed off that special bonus. It's probably a mistake, but I'm going to attach a 6 to that, which just means at the end scoring, it means I get that bonus. That's the main reason for doing that. And now I've got to work out, I'm going to try, and I've only got 1 special power here to manipulate my dice to fill in these last 10 hexes with 3 different land types. Going to be tricky. That's going to help. A 2 and a 5 and a 4. Okay, so I'm going to use a 2, the 2, and make it a 4 and put it over in this corner here. 4. Okay, so I need to roll on my red die. I need to roll a 2 and a 2 or a 3. I'm okay mostly with the land die or the power die. So move that. So I've got to raise up 4. I've got a 2. Excellent. So so I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, but then that blocks off the 4. I'm stuck if I roll a 4. But it leaves me space. I can either roll I can at least potentially make a regular island rather than a perfect island. Obviously I'm striving for that perfect island. Let's do that. Let's do a 4 hexes. Obviously I've got no choice about that as a 2, and I'm wondering about doing that, but that obviously blocks off the 1 and the 5, and this leaves me with the most options. That only means a 4. If I was to roll 2 4s in my red dice, that will kill me off. So 4 spaces there, and this is a 2. Okay, so I'm gonna hope can roll a nice low enough dice to give me options. So that's kind of the worst. No, I can. Yes, no, I can manipulate that. So I'm gonna I have to raise up 3 here, and I'm going to use my ability to manipulate this down to a 3. Okay, so that's the 3. So cross that off. So I am gonna create an island of 3 hexes with a 3, and I'm going to populate that island. Okay, so and I need to score that populated island. So I've got 2 6. Let's do it. So I've got a 1. I mean, that unlocks a thing, but I'm not going to hit that anyway. I've got a 2. So nearly got the end to the end of there. A 3, a 4, a 5, and 2 6s. So I get that bonus there. And this is a 1, a 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 6. So this is a perfect island. It's got 1, 2, 3 unique relics in it. There. Okay, so brilliantly. And then the last thing, I've filled in every single box with either water or island. Yeah, there's none that aren't kind of on their own, so I get my perfect bonus. Now this last bonus here for most relics is really a multiplayer bonus, so I don't count it at all. Obviously if you're playing solo you could always count it or never count it, and that would be fine. So let's do our scoring. So we've got to work out our total influence, and this is just you count how many ticks you've got in all of these boxes. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So 25. I've got 1 influence bonus times by 10 is 10. How many regular islands have I got? I've got 2 regular islands times by 2 is 4. I've got 3 perfect islands times by 7 is 21. I've got 0 1 unique relics So there's 0 in there. And I've got 1 island with 2 unique relics. So that's times by 3 there. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 islands with 3 unique relics, and 4 times 5 is 20, including my perfect world bonus is 10. So I need to add all these up, and this is where my maths goes completely wrong. So I've got 5, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 3, carry the 10. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 90, 93, which is actually a pretty good score, a really great score. I managed to get 3 perfect islands, which really helped. As you saw, the multiplier on perfect islands is a 7, so that's really great. And 4 islands with 3 unique relics, again a great multiplier. You're looking for those perfect islands and those 3 unique relics to really boost your score of those multipliers. Also getting that extra 10 up here to complete a influence bonus is ideal. So that's Islands of Atlantis by Alexander Shen. This is going to be, it's the 1 to 6 player game. I've obviously just played it in the 1 player mode. It's going to be part of Inkwell Games Dice and Ink Volume 1. If you want to know when they're going to kickstart that, go on to the inkwellgames.com and you can sign up for their blog, or you can follow them on Twitter at Inkwell Games, all one word. The Inkwell, the Dice and Ink Volume 1 is, like I said, it's got 10 roll and write games. It's going to be perfect bound book with perforations, nice 6-inch by 9-inch kind of book, soft cover. There are, for those soloists out there, there are 5 games that are soloable, and there are 3 solo only games. The player counts of the games are between 1 to 6 players, although there is one game that says it's just 2+ players, so you could have as many as you wanted really in that game. Lots of games are. This one would obviously be competitive as multiplayer. There are some multiplayer co-op games as well, 2 to 4 players or 2 players only. So have a look out for that Kickstarter if you're really interested in roll and writes. Like I say, there will be a PDF only tier as well for the Kickstarter. If you do get the physical book, the PDF is included also in the PDF. In the physical tier for the volume. It's definitely something I'm really looking forward to getting. I'm a good big fan of roll and write games. So this will be a great. It's the only one in existence really, or will be the only one in existence so far, or the first. Inkwell Games have done their research and found that there aren't any other anthologies of roll and write games by various different designers, and there are a couple of designers that you may know, established designers that you may know the names of. Robin Gibson, who's had a few Button Shy games published, also does great roll and writes called Paper Pinball. There's another one of the designers is Nat Levin, who's done quite a few Dice Hate Me games published. Dice Hate Me games also has been published by Button Shy Games. So there's a couple of established designers in there, but there's also some brand new designers as well. So Inkwell are giving new designers a real opportunity here. So I hope you enjoyed the roll and write. I hope it's helped you maybe decide on what you think of this game and roll and writes in general. And thanks for watching, and have a great day.